What's going on, YouTube? Claic Yuzolt back again with another Final Fantasy Brave Exvius video, and in today's video we're talking about the other king, not my king, King Rain, but maybe your king, King Lasswell, and his amazing global buffs. I mean, guys, he's actually going to be extremely powerful coming into global with these changes, allowing his LB. His LB has been changed so much. We're going to go over him, the TMRs that the other units bring along with them, and then how you can get the most out of King Lasswell. So let's get into it. Before we get started with this video, I do need to say it is sponsored by Gunship Battle Total Warfare. If you guys are looking for that realistic war game, strategic, real-time, on the mobile device, look no further than Gunship Battle Total Warfare. You guys are going to be able to get in there and attack from the land, sea, or sky with your army, navy, or your air force that you guys can build up. And, you know, go in real-time battles, big PvP all over the place. You can team up with players all over the world in alliances and have all-out battles. On top of that, you guys are going to be able to build and customize each of your ships, as you can see here, and make them look a little bit different to make sure they, you know, it goes with your personality. But on top of that, a lot of these ships and things in the game are historical based, so they have historical background. The guns and units are going to have that as well. So if you're looking for that strategy based, blow them up, big time war game, click the link in the description below and try Gunship Battle Total Warfare today. Alright guys, so for all you Lasswell fans out there, you finally got him to come out on the banner here. We have Hess King Lasswell. It's been a bit. He's been a little bit delayed. But I think if you're a Lasswell fan, you're going to be happy about that because he's going to be able to push out pretty insane numbers when it comes to physical damage. He's on a normal banner, which means 1 5-star and 2, you know, a 4-star and a 3-star, which is our beloved banners, I wish we had more of those. And he's also on the banner where I think it's a 25k step up at the end, you get a King Lasswell. So, you know, all in all, that's the kind of like what we want when it comes to this game and the step ups in my opinion. You guys can let me know in the comments below. But he's going to be along with 2 different users. We have Sister, which looks amazing. I mean, again, whenever they put these original FFBE characters on the banners, they always look so cool. I just wish there was some place we could use them. You know, the 3 and 4-star dungeons they talked about coming out would have been great because, I don't know, they just look so good. It sucks that they just go into your box and stay there. So I'm going to talk about our TMR Saints Gauntlet. Defense 12, Spirit 12, Light Resist 20% or an accessory. If you're needing to build up that Light Resist, this could be an option for you. Other than that, it's kind of mediocre at best. Moving on, we do have, I'm going to try to say this right, Scarcio. We have Scarcio, which just makes me think of a Pokemon name. He's looking really awesome as well. Big old axe sword looking thing. Going to be a physical chainer, it looks like. TMR battle advantage, increase attack 30%, increase physical damage against beasts and humans by 10%. So when you're first getting started out and you need those attack ups and you get a little bit of killer abilities, this is fantastic. But for us big dogs that have been playing for a little bit and we want the most damage, killer abilities 10% ain't gonna cut it. We'd rather go with the 50% because killers in this game are amazing. If you're new to the game, just checking out this video or something, guys, killer abilities in this game amplify damage like you wouldn't believe, and 10% is not gonna cut it because a lot of things go 50 or 75% or even 100% now in the game. So 10% is just not really gonna get us there. But those aren't why you're here anyway. You guys are here for Hess King Lasswell, Big Daddy. He also has a chair, believe it or not, like my boy Rain. Going to be a damage dealer extraordinaire, true double hand damage dealer. Going to have a big old katana in his hand. He has Absolute Mirror of Equity, Chaining Family, Divine Runation, and A-Ray Chaining Family. His TMR is Blade Art Succession. So if you like katanas, this is going to be a great TMR for you. Increase attack 50% with a katana. Increase equipment attack 50% when single wielding any weapon. So you get the 50% attack boost along with the true double hand 50%, which is fantastic, and you're going to want to put that on him for the TMR upgrade. And then if we talk about that just real quick, through his passives, Lasswell is going to have 200% true double hand passively as long as you has TMR on, which you are going to want. His STMR is pretty strong as well. True purple lightning, 180 attack sword. Hess King's Ambition is the passive it's going to give with that. It's a 2-handed weapon, and you can see that it actually, I'm going to try to scroll up here so you guys can see it all. Let's see if we can get it all in this frame. It gives you a ton of passives. You're going to recover MP, excuse me, 7% per turn, which is going to be important because with Lasswell, we're going to be triple casting all the time. And you can see all of these abilities get a little tiny modifier increase, which is going to add up when you're triple casting these abilities. So, fantastic. This weapon's awesome. There are a bunch of other weapons out there, katanas, that I'm sure you guys have your hands on. Omniharu, I'm probably still saying that wrong, Plus is a great one, and then we have a couple of others out there as well with, you know, Sephiroth, things like that you may need to get your hands on. But remember, you want to use a 2-handed katana in this man's hand and do as much damage as you think you can get in there. So looking over the unit as we can. He's going to be very similar to the other Lasswell that you've seen, with a little bit of variation, right? We're going to be doing fire and ice damage just like we used to. We have fire imbue because he is going to be a true double hand user. More than likely you're not going to have a element on the weapon, so what you're going to want to go ahead and go into is maybe imbuing or outside imbuing. He is going to have an imperil for fire and ice, and then from there he's going to work really cool, because what you want to do is you want to make sure that he has his triple cast available and then cast his LB. We're going to go ahead and look at his LB first before we look at these other abilities, so you can kind of understand. His LB's got a lot going on, and there's an upgraded version of his LB, and the way you get that is you want to have his TMR or STMR equipped, attack 50%, LB gauge up 4 per turn, and we want to have that LB ready, and upgrade LB, which we're going to want as you move down here. First off, it does massive damage, 40 times multiplier on that LB. That's really good damage to begin with. It's a 14 chainer, and it takes 36 to fill up. Increased modifiers 2.5 times to a lot of his abilities, so a lot of your abilities for 5 turns are going to be more powerful. The one I'm looking more into is increased modifier 4 times. A Big Daddy 4 times to Mirror of Equity Universe. This is an ability right here that does not unlock unless you use the LB, right? It comes from the LB, Mirror of Equity Universe, and we'll look at these other abilities that come from his LB. So it's very important to cast his LB in order to be able to go in and use these other abilities that we're going to be getting into. And those are available for 5 turns. Also, we enable Triple Katana, which is going to be the triple cast for 5 turns as well with his LB. So his LB is going to be important to be able to get cast, and you want to cast it every 5 turns in order to keep up all these great abilities and these modifier boosts and things like that, okay? So that's number 1. If we go up and look at the abilities that are unlocked from Omniblade Star Slicer, so this is going to be his LB that you want to, and you are going to want to level it up, in my opinion, because it does more damage. As you go down through here, you can see it does move up from a 17 modifier to a 20 times. On a damage dealer, that is going to be great, because it is going to be amplified by the 50% defense ignore. So, that's going to be even more. So looking at the abilities he unlocks, he does unlock Mirror of Equity Universe, which is going to be a chain capping itself. Huge chain cap at the end. Look at that, 9.5 times with ignore defense, 50%. It's absolutely insane. Plus all the modifiers going up. This thing is going to hurt if you triple cast it. It's going to do so much damage. We can look more on down through here. We can do fire damage if you need to. So you can see per turn for 4 turns to 1 enemy. So we are going to do a little fire dotting. Ice damage here with a stop. I mean, that's if you want to get into that. Then we have a ice and a fire imperil for 100% for 4 turns. So this is going to allow him to imperil by 100%. If we go up and look at his other imperils, I do believe they're a little bit lower in the 80% range. So we have an 80% here. That, you want to get that 100%. So that's why you want to use that LB. And again, once you pop that LB off, we are going to have triple cast activated. Sadly, he doesn't get triple cast from like his TMR passive or anything like that. So you are going to have to, he does have dual cast right here from his level 6 100, but you are going to have to unlock that by using an ability like Complete Awakening. That's going to give you the 5 turns of triple cast as well, so you can get that built up. So anyway, you're going to want to imbue if you don't have an outside imbuer. You're going to want to imperil, and he has those abilities, and we're going to use this imperil if we can. If we can't, it's like turn 1, you're going to have to use this 80% one up here. Then you're going to want to go in and just use absolute Mirror of Equity Universe, because once you get these modifiers stacked up, there are a ton of other modifiers you can put on this guy, right? Like if you look through his abilities, he also has a little bit of support, which is great. We can look through his cooldown abilities here. We do have, and that's the thing with Lasswell, you are going to have to weave in these cooldown abilities during the chaining of, he's got a lot of upkeep here. During the chaining of Mirror of Equity Universe, he's a very strong unit, but you have to be on the top. So we have one up here you may forget about because it's only available in turn 3, but don't. Look at this damage. 16 times, ignore defense 50%, so you can double that. And then it also increases your modifiers 0.5 times for 2 turns to like Mirror of Equity Universe, which is going to be big there. Absolute Mirror of Equity chaining. Moving on down, again, to his other cooldown abilities. This is available turn 2. It's going to be physical damage 1 times to 1 enemy, physical damage 10 times with ignore defense 50%, which is a 20 times multiplier. You want to cast that in. That's amazing. That's so much damage. You want to get that in there when you can. But on turn 1, you definitely want to cast Complete Awakening, Hess King. It's going to be available turn 1, 5-turn cooldown. Increases your attack 250%. You guys are used to this from back in the Esther days. You want to cast that big attack up, get all these modifiers increased, and then it unlocks the triple katana art, which is going to be your triple cast. So you want to cast this turn 1. And then after that... You want to make sure if you don't have an outside impaler or imbuer, you want to imperil, imbue, and then you want to get ready to use that LB and then start casting this ability right here when you don't have cooldowns up, right? Because there's even another cooldown here. Available turn 4 turn cooldown. Physical damage 1 times, ignore defense 11 times. Physical damage 11 times, so it's going to be that big chain cap at the end. 50% ignore defense, and then it also increases modifiers to Mirror of Equity and Mirror of Equity Universe, which is the big move we want to use as well. So you want to make sure you're weaving these multiplier ups in, because not only are they doing massive damage, these are actually doing really good damage. It's doing more damage than the final Mirror of Equity than the normal Mirror of Equity universe would do, without the buffs up. And you want to make sure this is all going on while making sure the LB is cast when it needs to, while all these cooldowns are being cast. You're imbued, you're imperiled, all that stuff's going on to make sure you're outputting the most damage that you can. And let me tell you guys, King Lasswell is going to be putting out that damage with these global changes. It's actually kind of nuts. And then he also has this great ability here, cutting a path. You can't triple cast it, you can't double cast it. You're gonna have to take a turn off from all that great stuff. But it's available on turn 1, 10 turn cooldown, auto revive 50% HP for 3 turns of all allies. So that's actually insane to me to have on damage healer. If some reason your healer can't do it, your healer's down, somebody has to raise up your healer. And normally, like when you hit an button, right? When something happens and as people are dying, your cooldowns, you haven't cast recovers, you haven't cast, you can't cast the re-raise because your healer is the one that died. So maybe a Phoenix down on your healer. This can put a protection barrier on everybody. It's going to revive everybody to 50% HP, and that comes through your attacker, which is, I think, is kind of insane. Just having that in your back pocket is awesome, along with being able to output as much damage as King Lasswell is going to do. That's kind of where he's going to be. Looking again over his passives, he's going to have all those attack passives up. He's going to have some defense, spirit, MP, all that good stuff. He is resist to paralyze, confuse, disease, and petrify. Which is great. I mean, that's what you want to be resist to. His LB, okay, so as you can see, he doesn't have a move that just like, hey, by the way, you have your LB. But he has a lot of things. Increase LB gauge 4 per turn. Increase LB gauge 4 per turn. Increase LB damage 50%. Let's see, where's that one that I was just looking at? LB gauge fill rate 150%. So you shouldn't have a problem with getting his LB up quickly, especially if you have somebody like Meyer on your for youing one of them or something like that would be great. He does have 150% again innately. You can see that we have 100% here. True double hand, we have 50% here. He has guts, which every unit in the game should have at this point. I love it to death. It's awesome. Again, with the TMR and STMR, you want that on. And then we have some more attack ups here. So overall, what do I think about King Lasswell? If you like Lasswell, definitely want to pick King Lasswell up. Not going to be disappointing to you at all. Hopefully you have a lot of friends that pick King Lasswell up. If you already have somebody like King Rain, any of these, the new Agent Olive, any of these old units that are still doing the damage, and you're like, I like Lasswell, but I'm just looking for the next big thing. I don't think King Lasswell is going to be it. Now, I'm not saying that the King Lasswell isn't going to be able to produce damage where you're going to be like, oh man, that's awesome, it's amazing. Maybe even more than King Rain. Actually, probably more than King Rain. We'll have to wait and see with the different equipment. But it's not something, you know what I mean? It's not like a jump like Orlando was, or a jump like Hio was. So that's where I want to kind of cut that there. And it's going to be a while before we see something like that anyway. But other than that, it's not like it's a bad investment. He's very good. He has that awesome re-raise ability. And he's kind of fun to play with. You guys saw, it's like, you have to make sure all these CDs are up on top of the fact that you got to get that LB. So overall, the changes to King Lasswell is amazing. He is top notch. Global's going to make him a star. So if you love Lasswell, it's going to be great for you guys to go for. However, if you're not somebody out there who, is somebody out there who has a really good damage dealer, looking for the next big thing like an Orlando or a Hio bump, this is going to be where you are yet. I don't even know when that's going to happen, honestly, in Global. It seems like they're going like a nice little tiny, it's not that huge power creep yet that we're used to seeing. That spike isn't happening yet. But overall, very, very good unit. I wanted to discuss where I've been and what I've been doing. So January is like a crap month, and I know it kind of sounds weird, but is really bad YouTube revenue. What people do, advertisers, what they do is they spend a lot of money in November, December, and they hold all their acorns in the winter. They don't spend them for the winter. January, February is a little bit better. March gets back to normal. And I've been working out. I've been trying to get my physique better. Focusing really on that. And honestly, last week was just kind of a dud for me in FFBE. And I said, I'm gonna take a little bit of a time off, and I'm just gonna chill out. And again, it kind of is weird because next week I'm not gonna be around as much either. But don't worry, guys. I'm not leaving FFBE just because I really like 7 Deadly Sins or I like Last Cloudia. I'm gonna stick around and hang out and play a game with you. Of course I am, dude. This game's my life. So I just don't want you guys thinking I'm like gone or anything like that. If I take breaks, man, like I'm just taking a break because I need to, dude. It's not like this is my job, so I got to do it when I can. But when I can take a break, I like to as well. I don't want to be up here, fake hyping up some news, because again, with the Final Fantasy 15 units, I wasn't that excited, and I didn't want to, you know, take away from anybody else that could have been excited about the units. Does that make sense? So I was just like, you know what, I'll let other people handle it, and you guys can be all excited, and you know, I'll take some time to make sure I focus on my diet and stuff like that. So thank you again to Gunship Battle Total Warfare for sponsoring this video. And yeah, so if you guys like this video, give it a thumbs up, comment down below, King Lasswell or King Rain, which side are you on? King Rain here. Subscribe for future content. Catch me on my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/Claic Yuzolt, and we'll see you guys in the next video.